You're not confused. You're just ignoring the pattern. And I'm not saying that to judge you. I'm saying that because you already know. You've definitely had that moment where something in you goes, this isn't it. And then you override it. Or you hear yourself say, we know how this is going to go. Like, exactly. Yeah, we do know how this is going to go. So this isn't confusion. This is you seeing it clearly and still choosing it anyways. Let's get into it. Welcome back to Rebuild Different. I'm Epiphany Page, and today we're talking about the difference between confusion and avoidance. Because a lot of the times, you're not confused. You're just ignoring the pattern. At some point, it stops being confusion. Confusion is, I don't know what's going on. It's when something feels off, but you can't fully explain it yet. You're still trying to understand it. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you noticing the same red flags, having the same conversations, being able to feel exactly where a situation is headed, and still choosing it. Because you're not confused. You're aware. You're just not acting on it yet. And this is a part people don't talk about enough. Your body will literally tell you when something isn't right. Sometimes before your mind has a chance to catch up. And I've definitely experienced this myself. I was with someone and my body was literally rejecting them. I was sick all the time, had all these random ass ailments, low energy, just off. And nothing made sense on paper. But looking back, it made perfect sense. My body knew before I was ready to admit it. And I've seen this pattern with so many people. When someone or something isn't right for you, your system's going to start reacting. Anxiety, stress, constant discomfort. And we try to explain it away, but it's not random. And you've definitely seen this play out in different ways too. People struggling with things for years, emotionally, physically, even fertility-wise. And then they align with the right situation, the right partner, the right environment. And suddenly things shift. Things that were once blocked or felt blocked start flowing. Because alignment matters way more than we want to admit. And this isn't just about dating. I've done this with jobs too. Taking roles that I knew weren't right for me, knowing that it wouldn't hold my attention, knowing that it wasn't aligned, knowing that it wasn't going to make me feel fulfilled. But of course I wanted it to be different, so I stayed. But trying to force something into being right never works. That moment where you say, we know how this is going to go. That's awareness. That is clarity. That's your intuition doing its job. But instead of listening, sometimes you override that little voice. Because you want it to work. Because you're attached to what it could be. Or maybe you're just not ready to let it go yet. And I also think we've all been here when you go and tell your friends. You tell them everything. And if you have good friends, they're not going to bullshit you. They'll be honest with you. And say, this doesn't feel right. I think we've been here before. And you hear them, but you don't hear them. And listen, when you're not ready to change your circumstances or your situations, there's nothing that anybody can say to make you do that. If you're not ready, you're not ready. Nobody can force you into that. But don't be surprised when people get tired of hearing it. Not because they don't care, but because they're watching you once again hurt your own feelings by staying in the exact same situation. But this is where growth actually starts. Not just with awareness, but more so action. Because self-awareness without change doesn't do anything. The shift happens when you ask, why do I keep choosing this when I already know how it ends? And that question, that's where things start changing. Because once you see the pattern, you have a choice. You can repeat it, or you can choose differently. And choosing differently might look like walking away sooner, not entertaining something that you normally would, and trusting that first no feeling. So next time you hear yourself say, we know how this is going to go, pause and actually listen to yourself. Because you're not confused. You already know. All right, guys, that's been another episode of Rebuild Different. Thanks so much for watching. If this episode hit for you, send it to someone who keeps ending up in the same situation and acting like they don't know why. But deep down, they do. And I'll see you guys next week.